So I had a new idea today. I thought, it'd be pretty cool to own a jet, right? What if we could fractionalize ownership of owning a jet to a group of people who are on chain who want to put their money together and buy a plane that they can use in their own time, but during times when the owners aren't using it, they'll have it chartered, which will bring in revenue, which will cover their own flight costs. So I think this could be pretty cool. I ran the numbers as far as like a few different jets, and I think a Cessna, I think that's the right way you pronounce it, but a Cessna Citation XLS, those provide pretty good revenue as far as what they can be rented out for. They're rented on average for 4,300. Operational costs are 2,200. And this is obviously like for flight time and whatnot, but yeah, I think it could be a pretty cool business model. So I know I was saying, I'm gonna get the loan collateral contract done by the 28th, which, technically, I mean, it just turned the 28th, so I still do technically have 24 hours if I want to have that uploaded. But I really, really want to work on this, and I have the thought, I really want to be the best at what I'm doing. So, what I'm specifically looking at doing is being one of the people who put real world assets onto the blockchain. So, this is another way for me to do this with planes, with yachts, with exotic cars. I can do this with a wide variety of usable assets that, I'm giving more utility than just cash flow. People can actually use the NFT to get access to a platform where they can then go on to book usage of the asset. Like for my example with the private jet, I could sell 114 NFTs for 100K each. That would raise a little over $11 million. We can buy the Cessna, which is about 5.5 million. But that would, on top of buying the Cessna, allow people to be able to use 23 hours of flight time for the first year. Essentially, they could use their NFT, go on, book flight time. They have 23 hours that they can spend, and the funds raised from minting the NFT would cover it. Now, obviously, we would have to structure this to make sure that we're getting enough days that it's chartered to be able to consistently maintain operational costs past that. But even so, I mean, we could always just have NFT holders pay just the operational costs instead of the normal 4,100 or $4,300 an hour. So there's different ways we can play with it, but essentially I worked with ChatGPT to put together the smart contract for it, and we're pretty solid. I would say we're probably like 80% there. As far as like being able to book the flight time, the hours tracking, all that stuff is there. The thing that I am going to need to incorporate though is having the smart contract integrate in the time that would need for refueling, for maintenance, for the in-between time that's required to maintain operations with the plane. But I could also potentially partner with like a chartering company who has several planes in their fleet, and we just pretty much give them money up front to be able to allow us to book times with our clients. So there's a few different ways we can go about doing this. But, just given like I had the concept, I wanted to jump on it rather quick. And earlier today, I was thinking, okay, like given I want to be the best at what I'm doing with putting assets on chain, I mean, this would be a cool fucking asset. This would definitely get publicity and this would have some pretty cool utility. I mean, that is badass. Imagine for $100,000, you have 23 hours of flight time. This is 23 hours of flight time per year, lifetime of the plane. The plane could last 5, 10, 15 years, but you're $100,000 for the 23 um hold up. Let me just make sure I'm doing the math right on this. So 23 flight time hours times $4,300. That'd be about $9,890 or $98,900. Math was going crazy in my head, but essentially, within the first year, you've utilized your flight credits and stuff, you're paying the same rate as what you would pay to normally charter a jet. But now you have years after that where you get 23 hours of flight time per year that you can consistently use, so on and so forth. So as long as the plane is operational and bringing in revenue. So this is a cool opportunity. I built the code for it, which I'll show you guys really quick. We do need to still build the front end, but this is essentially what we've got right now for the code. So This is V3 has the most recent updates, but this includes the majority of the updates. And essentially what we can do is once we mint an NFT, we can use the wallet of the NFT holder to book a flight. And this will pretty much track according to NFT that X amount of hours have been used, X amount of hours are left. And that way, if someone decides to sell their NFT after going through all their 23 hours, they're not able to just sell it back to themselves with a different wallet and automatically they can use an extra 23 hours of flight time. It's not how it works. It renews every year, but this is a contract that, again, we've got a lot of the pieces. So we'll continue to tweak this and stuff. The next thing is obviously going to be building the front end. So I want to get the just most important components done. Then we'll work on building the front end. And from there, we'll have another contract under our belt and something cool to use. Now, the reason I actually thought about this contract is I was thinking my original thought process was okay, for the construction projects, I could go through my Vivint Circle to raise the capital for that. But, these guys have some of their own businesses. So why don't we try to bring value to their own operations rather than just bringing them an investment vehicle? So we can do both. We can show them an investment vehicle to flip their money and to have cash flow, as well as an investment vehicle that can provide real world utility in the sense of being able to book flight times, yacht times, etc., etc. So I'm hype. This will be a cool project, especially to present. I'm really excited to present this, and we can present this to a large variety of people because while I do have the manager who owns the company that manages like the pro experience within the golf realm, there's plenty of exotic car rental places, there's plenty of yacht booking places, there's a lot of different places that we can approach and we can build this contract for them and charge a good little chunk of change. So I do honestly like given where this idea started is the fact that we can have an asset that we don't ever need to sell. I still do want to have the lending contract done. So I'm gonna be working on that tomorrow. I do need to Uber some tomorrow though, so we'll see. I mean, this Thursday may not be, or this weekend may not be like the full Thursday to Sunday schedule that we'll normally get, just given the holidays. But um, but yeah, we should be able to get the lending contract done because that I mean the one that I'm building right now anyways is fairly simple. It's just a contract with a balloon payment. So that'd be more so for short-term loans. I need to figure out how to set it up though so that the contract can accept ETH because currently it's one contract that can manage multiple listings, but like I don't know how that would work if one contract is receiving income from multiple NFTs, how it's going to know which NFT is receiving income and which account that income is supposed to be subtracted from the balance. So I need to figure some stuff out as far as organizing the contract. I am still leaning more towards doing it like you deploy one contract per loan because then it would only cost like anywhere from like 20, 15, $20 to a few $100s if you wanted to borrow against an NFT. But I mean, if your NFT is worth a lot of money, then I mean, is it really all that big of a issue? It would just be another fee. So we'll figure things out. Obviously, efficiency is something we want to take account of, but if we find other alternative ways of setting it up that seem to make more sense, then obviously we can go down that route. So yeah, that's kind of just the updates for today. I'll show you guys more so as far as the flight pass contract I had made once I have the front end set up and built for it. That way it's really easy to follow along with how this would work. I'm thinking we're gonna have like a calendar type setup where you can see different times, you can select those times, it'll book it, and yeah, it'll manage things from there. So that is the project that was birthed in idea today. And we do have that lending contract to get on as well with the platform, but we should be able to get all that stuff done and roll into December looking pretty good. So with that being said, I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.